Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you a bigger project I've been working on the last couple days. They got a bit more complicated than I thought it would be. So what I made is a block storage or a cube maker and block extractor again. So this was inspired by some of the comments I got when the sculk block was introduced. Some people suggested that we just store the blocks in a big cube, then make some kind of machinery that could get them out again and push them in front of a player. I at first dismissed the idea because I thought this would be way too complicated and too much effort, and yeah, my opinion didn't really change, but I like the challenge of actually doing it. Okay, so let's check it out. So the idea is that a player would place the sculk blocks here and they would be put into this 12 by 12 by 12 cube as a form of a block storage. Right, let's quickly go in survival mode and turn it on here. Get blocks and the piston is pushing them to the side. So I'm gonna quickly set up a bot to do that so we can see what the machine is actually doing. Alright, so we can place a block every 4 ticks of 5 blocks a second. Now we just push the sculk blocks to the side and they will be input into the cube making machine. So we got the whole line going to the back. Once they reach this piston, they will be immediately pushed up until we got 12 rows of blocks, and then they will be pushed over. So once the blocks are pushed in front of this observer, the whole piston wall here on the side triggers. So any moment, just 2 more rows, you will see that. There we go. Alright. So we push those 144 blocks over. At the same time, at the other end, there's a flying machine that pushes the last row of blocks over. In this case, yeah, all the powder snow. What happens next is we put this whole 12 by 12 slice back into a 1 by 1 item stream. This actually happens here. So we do it 12 blocks at a time. Then we push in and then down, so a single piston can push all the blocks over. A big challenge of this machine was that the block clearance at this end had to be just as fast as the block input. So to take out a block every 4 ticks. That's why this part got a bit more complicated. So first we basically push over the whole slice blocks with the flying machine. If you would just have like a piston set up here, the flying machine, it would only push over the blocks every 2.4 seconds. Now, of course, if you try to push in the next slice of blocks, the flying machine would be in the way. So that's why we need a system where we just push the blocks over and the flying machine immediately goes back, so we have space again. Okay, then the blocks are temporarily stored in the setup here. But it's quite convenient now that we have actually 2 sides available. One to push the pistons in, and then the second side to power those. Okay, the first column of blocks pushed in, and then we just extend those pistons here really quick, push them one over. We do this exactly every 2.4 seconds. And then here this part was actually a bit hard to decide because there was not a lot of leeway in terms of the timings. So we actually 0 tick over the blocks here, pistons are getting pushed back, and then immediately start pushing them down. Like the first block of the column is also pushed directly in front of this piston. It is 0 ticking the blocks over into the stream. So this was a lot of work actually to get those timings right. But yeah, here we are finally. So then we need to actually pick up the powder snow. So the idea is to clear the whole sculk block storage again, we just dispense powder snow. I'm gonna show that later. But of course we also have to pick up the powder snow, and that's what's happening here. So here we gotta set up the dispenser that for every incoming block it activates the dispenser. So in case we actually do pick up the powder snow, the bucket is dispensed out, or just drops out, and the hopper minecart below would pick it up. Then we just got a dropper system that dispenses all the buckets, and they're put back into the storage here. There's roughly 40 double chests of powder snow buckets. Here we got them. Alright. Guess there's currently not much more to say. I'm just gonna wait until the whole storage is filled up with the sculk blocks. Alright, it takes a little bit over 5 minutes to fill in the whole block storage with sculk blocks. Here's a couple of powder snow blocks left. It's actually quite convenient, so I can show you that this bucketing system works properly. Right, so then the idea is, now you want to get your sculk blocks out again because you need a little bit of XP for enchanting. Then you can just turn the machine on here. And this will trigger the powder snow placing. We have this here. You got a dispenser that places a powder snow bucket every 4 ticks. And of course, we also have to filter out the empty buckets. That's why we got this whole system below that I actually showed in a separate video yesterday. Because this actually got a bit more complicated with the item filter there. But yeah, we got a really nice solution now. So all the empty buckets are being filtered out. I'm not gonna explain in detail again. I'm just gonna link yesterday's video in the video description. Okay, so the empty buckets would then be sent over to the empty bucket storage here, where we try to pick up the powder snow again. Okay, so this dispenser would actually trigger for every block that is being pushed in. But there's no problem, so we just spit out a lot of empty buckets, but the minecart would also pick those up and dispense them as well, and they will be put back into the storage here. So we got a multiple double speed item sorters for the buckets. Alright, so all the sculk blocks would then arrive in front of the player, and you can conveniently mine them. So you can mine 18,000 per hour, which is half of what is necessary to reach the maximum pickup speed for the XP balls. Okay, so what I haven't added yet would be the overflow. So in case the player for some reason fails to mine the blocks here, I need to get rid of those blocks because the machine couldn't really detect that. So I guess the easiest, in case you would actually try to build something in survival, would be to have a safety system that either shuts the farm off immediately, or have a TNT duping system that runs constantly and just blows everything up that is being pushed through this system here. But usually it should be no problem to mine all the blocks. So there we go. Quite convenient XP. Okay, can also turn it off here. Yeah, this is already, I think about a third of it is filled with powder snow again. So I haven't actually done it, but it would not be too hard to make a safety switch. So you could power one of those incoming sculk blocks there, then run a redstone dust line that would maybe push in a block here to stop the powder snow from placing any more blocks. And you can even stop a hopper clock over here. So this is a 48 tick hopper clock. You could power maybe this hopper here, and then you would prevent any new columns of blocks being pushed in. So I would still process the column of blocks that gets pushed downward here. It's not really feasible to stop this. So you might get like 12 or 24 blocks more. They would get pushed out here. Currently I just have the command block to get rid of them. So you would need to mine those manually before I turn on the machine again. But that should definitely be an easy way to make a safety switch. It would technically also be possible to chain those cube storages. So we make a 12 by 12 by 12 cube out of a 1 by 1 block stream, and then put this back into a 1 by 1 block stream. You could also just run this into the next cube maker and do the same again, and then put it into the next cube maker and so on. So you could chain those to even store more blocks. But of course, at some point, all of this would get quite laggy. Instead of chaining them, you could also run them in parallel. So you can pick up to 36k XP, and technically you would even be able to mine 72k blocks per hour. So you could run 2 or 4 of those next to each other, and you just need to merge the block streams in the end again. Alright, so that's all about this machine. Now, since this machine is probably not flashy enough or too complicated that people would steal it and show it on their shitty low-effort YouTube channel or make tutorials about it, I will provide a world download so you can check it out. Alright, that's all. Thanks guys for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.